So the fourth video in the series on the principles of programming. Look, in order to achieve a goal, you've got to have the right attitude. The right attitude's got to be there when you start the programming process, on the way towards it, and finally its achievement. You need to have the correct attitude. Now, it has three components to it. First of all, of course, is you've become the positive person. You're deleting that program with negative thoughts that are getting in the way. You're constantly being positive. You're working on doing that inner work, which, you know, we've covered so many times before. And your verbalizations are positive. The way you greet people are positive. The scenarios around you, your mind are positive. You're constantly on guard. You've got tools and techniques to deal with the negativity of others if they're around you. However, this attitude that's required to achieve our goals, three principal components make that up. First thing, you've got to really, really want it. To use a word, you've got to desire it. You've got to really desire and really seriously want the goal that you're programming. This isn't airy-fairy, wishing well nonsense. We did all that as children. You know, I joked about it in the course about the whole thing about the tooth fairy and all that. Look, in Santa Claus, look, the thing is, we're committed. In talking about Muhammad Ali, he said that when he decided to sign the contract, to fight someone, he absolutely committed to show up. He was absolutely going to show up and fight that fight. He, when he signed the contract, was committed. In a sense, you must have that commitment. And the starting point is that you absolutely want it. Now, you build the desire for your goals by constantly going back into the future screen, into Ship 3, if you're an islander, of course. You're reviewing the future history. And more importantly, as you review the future history, constantly going back to the future, what you're doing is you are considering primarily the benefits that are going to come to you as a result of you achieving your goals. And if those benefits so inspire you, why on earth would you not constantly want to go back and review that future history? And because it's so inspiring, that creates the desire. That, listen to this, snaps the chains of inertia that's keeping you stuck in your present situation. You snap the chains of inertia when you've got the desire for your goal, when you first program it, you commit to it, and then you release the energy out there and off you go. You start to create momentum towards your goal. And by the constant programming, you know what happens. People, places, opportunities show up. Coincidences happen. You get ideas in the middle of the night, let's say. You're in the shower, an idea comes. Things just start to happen. When we send out the desire for a goal through our programming, the universe starts to move in a different direction to fulfill that for you. So those people are on their way, those places are on their way, those ideas are on their way, and they'll come at the right time. You will be in the right place at the right time, provided you continue to program. So you need desire. The next component of this attitude is you need to believe that you're going to achieve the goal. And the belief, of course, comes from you constantly self-talking yourself. You know, whenever a negative thought comes, delete that program, you're replaying the positive. You're really, really supporting yourself constantly with your self-talk. I'm going to achieve this, I will achieve this, I'm up for this, and doing whatever you have to do every day. When the opportunities come, you take them, you grab them, you push on, you take risks, you pre-program before those risks. On the way with meetings and so on, you pre-program those meetings. Everything slowly but surely taking you towards your goal. And on the way there, constantly believing you're going to do it. However, if the goal's big enough, your subconscious will attract something, somebody, something will happen very early on, maybe even within the first 3 days of programming, where you'll be challenged, where your belief will be challenged. Sometimes an alternative will show up that initially feels a bit more attractive, and you'll be challenged deep down. Do you really, really want the goal? Are you going to surrender to this alternative? It's almost like your subconscious or a higher power or the universe, whatever you want to believe in, actually testing, are you committed to this? Because if it's going to align everything up for you, if it's going to make sure that it attracts everybody at the right time, everything you need, then it needs to know you're going to act on it. So you've critically got to work on your self-belief. You've got to keep telling yourself you will. And what that does, whilst the desire snaps the chains of inertia, belief keeps the momentum building and gets you over the hurdles and gets you over those walls and gets you through the disappointments and the setbacks because, by the way, they're part of the journey. And ultimately, as you know, the destination itself isn't really what it's about. It's having goals and having the journey towards a goal and the breakthroughs and the passion and the excitement. That's what it's about. It's about being alive, going after our goals. And the third characteristic of this is actually quite simply expectation. You get to the point, because you're constantly going back to that future screen, you're constantly doing the work in your self-belief, that you reach a point through repetition where you just know, where you just have this sense of this is going to happen. And you'll be like those who've said in the past, I just knew I was going to do it. I had this feeling that somehow or other it was all going to come right on the night. And that's exactly what happens. That expectation is fascinating, because the desire catapults you out towards your goal. The belief keeps you going. But expectations away in the future actually pulling you in, drawing you in, slowly but surely, day upon day, towards the achievement of your goal. So you've got to have the desire for it. You've got to really want it. And remember, you ain't going to really want a realistic, achievable goal. Think about that. It's what you truly want. It's so inspiring, you're going to constantly go back and review the future, which will constantly build your belief, and you'll be working your self-talk anyway and doing all that positive stuff. And thirdly, you just get to the point through the repetition where you expect it. You expect to achieve your goals. Isn't that fantastic? And that's just the way that we human beings are made up. And remember this, the vast majority of people aren't setting any goals anyway. They're just off to work today, they're off through their life, and they don't realise that they're subconsciously actually helping those who are setting goals. They're helping them achieve them. My passion is to help people achieve their goals, to release them to think about having goals. But that's my choice. Isn't it really sad that so many people that you care about and love are just going through their lives unconsciously helping others achieve their goals, where they have, if you like, the human right to set their own goals. They have the capacity, the capability to set their own goals and achieve and contribute. And remember the power of MindStore. In Screen 4 or Shift 4, the consequences, the joy, the improvement, the contribution we make to the world when we achieve our goals is just fantastic. Anyway, another video to follow. Hope you're enjoying the series, and I trust you're getting back on line with your programming. Bye now.